So I'm just going to show you how to break down a 4 kilo Denver leg set. So it's in the bag. There's a bit of liquid in there after the defrost. That's about 10% of the body weight. So I like to just transfer to a blue cloth. Lovely top side there, nice big muscle. This one we've got 2 top sides, obviously. 1 rump. It's one of those fake fillets. And a knuckle. So you've got a little bit of liquid left over, not too much. It's about 10% total weight. And I'll just pat those muscles dry. And then we'll move on to butchery. The great thing about these big muscles is that you can just carve off them throughout the night for portions. So we cook the whole thing on the grill and then hot hold it, let it rest. And then when an order comes on, we hot hold it. And then when you need a portion, you just slice off it and then put it back. So it saves a lot of cooking. Okay, so top side is a little bit of membrane there we just want to remove, not too much at all. Comes off nice and easy. I'm going to have 2 piles, one for waste, one for trim. The trim's great for sausage, terrine, stir fry, anything like that. Separate this little muscle off. You can leave it on, but I like to take it off. And on this little muscle there's a bit of connective tissue, and then there's a little artery in there. So I find one end of the artery, find the other end, put my knife through it, right through the artery, and then just cut out and back the other way. And then you've got a little piece there. You can see the inside of the artery here is just a little bit chewy, so we take that off, like so. We always just angle our knife up into the tough bits, so we're removing a bit of silver skin and a bit of sort of artery, and that's it. And you can angle your knife into it so you don't lose much meat. I like to trim these edges to square off the meat so that it doesn't overcook. That stuff would overcook on my grill anyway, so I might as well keep it now and use it for terrines or something like that. So that's a lovely portion size meat there. Okay, obviously when you've got quality meat like this, I think a reasonable portion size in a restaurant would be, you know, between 150 and 160 grams. Okay, I'm just trimming the little bits that would overcook in that, you know, in the time it takes to cook the wider part. So it's just those little end pieces. And then if you're really fussy, I'm not, but if you are, you can just square off the muscle. So just run your knife along the edge and sort of round it off a little bit. Got a little bit of membrane, we can just cut that off. That's good stuff for terrines. Rounding it off, this is being really pedantic. Okay, and then we've got a lovely muscle here, and that would be obviously 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 portions, easy peasy. If you really want to be pre-portioning, you could cut this lengthways and then again square off the edges, square off, and then you've got 2 nice long muscles. That's totally fine. I might do that on the next one just to show you. Okay, this is an easy one here. Nothing to it. A little bit of membrane here. It's just got that sort of very faint see-through membrane. Try to do it in nice long strokes. Okay, and then we're going to square that off each end, building a little pile, but when you consider how much meat we've done, it's not much, and it hasn't taken long at all, as you can see. Okay, the knuckle, my favorite cut. It's the most tender and delicious cut. These Denver leg muscles have more flavor than the fillet, more flavor than the back strap, and they're just as tender. Everyone, when we're cooking these, everyone in the restaurant is always asking or assuming that it's fillet or back strap. Okay, so there's a big seam running through the middle here. Starts thick and tapers away to nothing down here, and that runs right through the fillet. You can see it here, okay? So what we're going to do is cut along the fillet, angling the knife into the silver skin. It won't break it. Cut, one big cut, and then on the other side, one big cut. And then we've got two mussels, one smaller, one bigger. They're amazing. So we just try to find that big seam, try to free up both sides so you can hold on to it a little bit. Okay, use your knife just to scrape along it, and then you can start seeing what's going on there. Okay, so just cut along that. And then I'll cut under and just pull that tight so I got some tension to make it a bit easier. Okay, and then you can just cut straight through. Okay, fold that off. There's our sinew. Now we cut from the bottom, and you can just angle up into the knife, into the silver skin. You can try to remove it without separating the meat, and then you've got like a sort of a little one piece with a big cut through the middle, but that's essentially it. Okay, that goes to waste. And then you've got these two pieces, which again, we can just square off if we need to. I don't think we need to. One small portion there, and then this here. Very nice mussels. Okay. The rump, the harder one to do. Okay, you can see the shape there. We've got a bit of this membrane, so I'm going to remove that. Okay, flip it over, and then this is usually where I start. Everyone will have a different approach to this, but I find the thickest silver skin, and I work from that. So essentially, just use your knife to scrape away until you start getting, seeing what's going on. The silver skin won't really be cut through if you're scraping, so that's how I find my bearings. So hold the silver skin, give it tension so that it's tight, and you can just scrape your knife down it and start working out where it goes. Essentially, we're just trying to remove it. Okay, that's one side, now the other. That bit comes out, that silver skin. We've got another real big bit here, so I'll do the same thing. Pull it tight, free up a little bit so you can hold it, and then just try to cut all the way down it, all the way through there. Okay, it's quite thick at the top here. And this mussel here just sort of rolls away from the silver skin as we cut. Okay, I think they call that the rump part there, I think. And that's a lovely mussel. We'll just tidy up that silver skin there. That's a lovely mussel there, really flavourful. Okay, and then we're left with this piece, which is a bit flatter. Obviously we've got this silver skin we need to remove now. The funny thing is it sort of goes back in, so you got silver skin here, and then it also goes here like a T-junction. So we're just going to try to free up this, remove as much of the silver as we can. Again, it's just that scraping, and then we're going to cut through the back end. Okay. There's a bit more here. It starts to thin out as it goes into the middle of the mussel, so we're not going to worry too much about the middle stuff, and we'll just be aware of that when we're slicing portions, just to slice a bit thinner and make sure you're cutting against the grain of the silver skin. Cool, that's all we need to do. We'll trim off that bit. Bit of silver there. Okay, square it off. And that's done. That's a lovely, again, lovely piece of meat there. And again, heaps of flavour in the rump, so that's a beauty. You could roll it if you wanted, tie it. Got a lovely muscle there. Okay, and then that last one, I'm going to make a real quick go of this one. This is the top side that we've done again. Great muscle for curing. If you wanted to cure for Bresaola, that muscle's awesome because of the shape. Like I say, you can leave it on, but I'd like to take this little side piece off, which is just a bit of separating and just running your knife through the gap there. Very easy. We'll take that artery out again. Artery's there, comes out there, knife through, cut up. Can just remove that artery, or you could do what I did before where you really square it off. Okay, one muscle, and then this last one we'll just do what I said, where we'll cut it more into portions, so we'll cut it lengthways just to show you how it can be done. Cleaning membrane, it's mostly fine. A little bit there. Okay, so now if you wanted portions, you can cut straight down the middle. Okay. And then we could just, to square off this edge, we put it flat and just cut an angle, cut 45 degrees down there. And the same again, you're just taking off the harsh edges that'll overcook, rounding off the muscle. We'll trim this end piece and trim this end piece to be real fussy. But look at that, that's a beautiful, easy to portion piece of meat again. And then you're left with another one here. Absolute premium meat. Squaring it, rounding it. Okay, so we've been really fussy with trimming here, and you can see the total amount of wastage is, there's still a bit of meat on there as well. If I wasn't filming, I'd probably be scraping that, but you're looking at very little when you consider that the whole amount was 3 kilos. Lovely muscle here. And you've got about 100 grams of beautiful prime trim, no sinew at all. About 50 grams of, some meat that you could trim plus silver skin, and then you've got easily 3.3 kilos-ish of easy to use muscle right there. Venison Denver leg, barely cook it, Fiordland Wapiti, epic stuff.